This is actually my second try at recording this today. I'm out in front of my Tim Hortons that I like to use. There's a couple of reasons I like to use it. One, it's convenient to when we're up here. We're back in Penticton. It took me 2 days to drive what normally is a 4-hour drive because of issues with my knee and back from the fall. It's now the beginning of February and I've had one contact with them since the trip. That was the end of December. They haven't actually provided the name of the franchise owner for the store in Aldergrove. This store here does not have the big new tiles, so any way they clean them, they're not going to end up being slippery as not. Those new tiles that they installed in the renovations, I know them well. I've had them in a couple of my apartment buildings, and you do need to watch what you're using on them. You can't use anything with any type of oil or residue, or like there's an industrial cleaner that's readily available. It marks itself as being environmentally friendly, and it actually contains orange oil or lemon oil, depending on which one you get. You can't use any of that crap on those big tiles because it just builds up on top and becomes a slippery surface. Nonetheless, so as I was saying, my left knee, which was the one that was hyperextended in my fall, is still not good. And I have a problem space in my upper back. Both of which can probably be treated. However, the only thing I can actually afford to do myself at the moment, being on CPP, until I go back to work, which is becoming increasingly more distant as it takes more time for me to heal up, is aquatherapy, which I'm doing twice or 3 times a week, depending on the week, which helps a fair bit for a day, usually a day and a half. So, back to talking about Tim Hortons. So, RBI, which now owns Tim Hortons, when they bought it from TDL Corporation, which was the East Canadian. By the way, when RBI hears this, do something about your soups. We're just tired of seeing only one soup and it all being chicken noodle. Really, TDL did a much better job at that. They had 2 to 3 soups every day in all of their stores, including my personal favorite, which was the beef noodle. Now, they also took the time to bake stuff in store, which of course no longer happens. Everything comes partially frozen. Which is why if you've ever seen a truck unloaded out of Tim Hortons, it takes them hours to do. Because everything's coming that they're going to put out in a frozen state. And it's just baked in store to finish. Anyways, back to Restaurant Brands International, and who won't provide the name of the franchisee in Aldergrove. I was online looking at postings about Tim Hortons, let's face it, video postings about Tim Hortons on TikTok and of course YouTube, and there are literally hundreds of videos about the poor conditions going on inside these stores. All the stores? Almost. There are also literally hundreds of people who have been hurt in Tim Hortons, either like a fall like mine or through other things going on at the counters or as employees being seriously hurt. I'm beginning to wonder if I shouldn't just see if I can find a lawyer who specializes in class actions, make mine the exemplar case, and just go after Restaurant Brands International for their poor training of all their franchisees and their poor follow-up to make sure franchisees are teaching their staff how to clean properly, how to use the equipment properly. I've actually seen people burnt on some of their hardware who were working for them because they just weren't taught not to do that. If somebody from RBI is watching this, I don't know, possibly. Anyways, you really need to start teaching your franchisees how to clean and do things properly and how to train their staffs to do things properly. My case where they didn't know how to clean is not by far the only one. In fact, there's a store here in Penticton that has the new floors that is also as slippery as snot most days because they're using the wrong cleaning solution. Or if they're not cleaning up a spill correctly, they mop it up with water and then just walk away without realizing they have to clean the space afterwards. Again, something that takes staff 2 to 3 minutes to complete properly isn't being taught to them, is my guess. Not so much that they don't do it because they're lazy or whatever. It's just because they're not being taught how to clean their floors properly. So, where do we go from here? I don't know, but it will probably end up in court because this is just ridiculous. Every day that I'm down is costing money. We ended up losing $3,000 over the Christmas period just from the fact that I couldn't deliver puppies in a timely way. So we had to mark them all down and discount them when I was able to actually drive them to locations. Not happy. We'll be continuing to deal with them and harp at them. I mean, I do send them an email once or twice or 3 times a week, sometimes more. And they constantly say, oh yeah, we'll get back to you, but they actually never do, at least not since December 27th. That's right, December 27th is now February 2nd where I am, and probably where you are too. So, everyone take care. I'll let you know if and when anything actually happens with these people. And I'll let you know when and if I can get some adjustments made to my back, which was totally knocked out of line and sync, and the hyperextension of my knee, which probably does require cortisol treatment, but unfortunately my GP doesn't do cortisol anymore. Apparently there have been some problems with people being litigious over nerves accidentally being hit. Not him personally, but it has happened in Canada. Thank you guys. We will be posting some more doggy content as we get a chance, but my next content is actually going to be rather more serious. I've been writing the script now for almost a week, and I just, every time I think I have some type of cohesive idea of how we as Canadians need to be responding to what's going on down south, something more disastrous and bizarre shows up on my radar. So I think the next one is going to be a direct appeal to any of Jeffrey Epstein's victims, or victims of the whole group, that are actually Canadian citizens and live in Canada right now, because I think there is something they can do right now about it. Thank you.